A very warm welcome to everyone from the home of cricket in Bangladesh, the Sher-e National Cricket Stadium. This is the first of three T20i internationals between Bangladesh and Australia. And the first one will kick off in about a few minutes. With you in commentary, I'm Shanu Rabbani, and earlier there was a massive storm for which some of the parts in the ground, especially the digital screen, it got damaged. There's not much wind, as you can see in the three flags, not much movement currently, and the sun is out. It is shining bright like no rain ever happened, but it did. Certain parts in this outfield are patchy with a bit of wetness, but anyways, we'll get more from the pitch report first, and after which we'll see the toss. The pitch report will be done by Rosel.
Hello and welcome to the first T20i between Bangladesh women and Australia women. I'm just standing in front of the wicket number 9. Exactly second ODI was played here and Australia won that game in batting second. It rained today early in the morning, but good news is that sun is out there. Wicket looks dried up here and a little bit green grasses over there, and also other part of the pitch looks like rotten grasses there. So I think batting second will get the advantage as well. Record says batting first team won 4 matches and batting second team won 9 matches here in this wicket. So I reckon batting second will be the wise decision. That means choose to bowl first, winning the toss.
That was the toss by Rosel, and as we can see, this is going to be the pitch that was used in the second one-day international between the two teams. So we expect something for the pacers early on, especially with the rain in the morning, and then the spinners should also come into effect. Anyways, with the pitch report done, let's go to Onnesha, who's ready with the two captains and the match referee for the toss.
The last day of the month ushers in the first match of the T20i leg of this historic tour of Australia's to Bangladesh, their first in a bilateral arrangement in the country. And as both teams and this nation at large gears up for the ICC Women's T20 World Cup in September-October, it's time to set the ball rolling in the 20-over format. I have alongside me the two captains, Nigar Sultana Jyoti, the Bangladesh skipper, and Alisa Healy, the captain of Australia, alongside match referee Akhtar Ahmed. And if I may request Nigar to do the honours and give the coin a nice little flick. Tails is the call. And it is head. Nigar Sultana Jyoti, the Bangladesh captain, has won the toss and she has decided to bat first. Nigar, first things first, would you explain the rationale behind your decision?
The thing is, it's a wicket look fresh, and this kind of surface, if you can put some score in the boards, then our bowlers have a very good strength, so we look forward for that.
What's the makeup of your starting 11 looking like for today?
We have few changes with the ODIs, and we put some all-rounders in our 11, and I'm really eager to see how they perform for the team.
The ODIs went a certain way, but it's a fresh start with a mind, of course, on the bigger picture, that is the T20 World Cup. What would you expect in terms of the score that you set batting first?
The thing is how we played in the ODI games, we just don't want to do those kind of mistake in the middle, and obviously this is a very new format for us right now, so we are look forward for the first game and but we are trying to play to our potential that we couldn't do in the ODI, so and I keep believing in my girls that they can come back.
And how did you go about spending the 3 days off that you had? You had a busy yesterday, exchanging some gifts and giving a bit of a tutorial to Alisa Healy. Talk us through those moments and how do you look to re-energize yourself through that?
Yeah, I think it was a very good experience for me because this is a very first time we had something different, both the captains, and I think both the captains have a very good time. And I think it was a very good 3 days that we're trying to recollect ourselves and trying to get back how we could play against them.
Thank you and go well. Alisa Haley, what would you have decided to opt for had you won the toss?
It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's 40 overs of cricket and you've got to do both. So it doesn't bother us to have a bowl first. I think either way, we're going to have to do it well.
Talk us to the playing personnel you've chosen for the first T20i.
Really exciting. I think after 800 odd days, Taylor Vlimek's back in Aussie colours, which is really exciting for us. So look, we've got a side stack full of batters, but to have Tay back and rip in with the new ball is going to be really exciting.
Speaking of pitch and conditions, this is pitch number 9, where the second ODI was played. What are you expecting from the surface today?
We'll have to wait and see. I think it's a lot drier than what we saw it last time. It actually played pretty well in that second ODI, so we'll just adapt as we go. Obviously, we get to bowl first on it and going to get a really good look at conditions before we have to bat.
Any particular score you have in mind in terms of where you would want to limit Bangladesh to?
No, not really. I think it's more so about the process of what we want to do with the ball, and I think there's a few things in particular we want to tidy up on in our T20 format, so today's a great opportunity to get out here first and do that.
Good luck and go well.
Thank you.
That's it from the toss. Bangladesh, the home team, have won the toss and decided to bat first.
So that was the toss update. Bangladesh winning the toss once again, and Captain Nigar Sultana Jyoti this time choosing to bat first on what's an interesting decision, especially given that there was rain in the morning and there might be a bit of moisture on offer for the bowlers, especially the fast bowlers. They might get it to swing, as we saw in the second one day international between the two teams. But nonetheless, with Bangladesh's batting under the microscope, they will need to deliver. It's been the batting that has been letting the home team down. Anyways, in commentary, Roselle has made the quick jog back into the commentary box, and Roselle joins me. Good morning, Roselle. Bright and sunny here. We're waiting for the teams to come out, but expecting a better contest than there was in the ODIs.
Yeah, good morning, Sher-e bhai. So looks like it will be a very good game, but still Bangladesh women didn't play very well in the ODI series. So I think that need a bounce back in the T20i, and also Bangladeshi batters and bowlers, they have the capability of doing so. So I think they need to play carefully, need to stay in the wicket, because the wicket looks very good for batting now because sun is out there. Pitch is almost dried up, so they need to play their natural game as well.
Yeah, it's something that the Tigresses have been struggling with, is playing their natural game. They've been getting bogged down a lot due to the quality of the Australian bowling attack as well. They really haven't been able to break free of those shackles. And the two openers, the Bangladesh openers, Murshida and Pinky, they're getting ready. As we can also see that they are all focused, and the Australian camp looking very relaxed. They did their fielding drills earlier on, and they look an absolutely elite unit. There's no chinks in the armor. They know what they have to do, and you heard Lisa Healy at the toss that it's 40 overs of cricket. The toss really doesn't matter. It's about going there and playing good cricket, and there is massive camaraderie in this team. One of the greatest cricketing outfits of all time in men and women's cricket all together. And the two umpires are also ready. Umpire Ali Arman and Vrinda Rathi, the two umpires, the two on-field umpires. Our third umpire is Morshad Ali Khan, and along with the match referee who was there at the toss, Akhtar Ahmed. So Roselle, what sort of a total are you expecting Bangladesh to make early on? Probably be watchful or be more aggressive?
I think they should be looking for 120-30, this range of runs, and also We seen in the previous series against India, against Pakistan, they batted very well and nearly scored 120, 30, 40 runs. So they need to score this kind of runs here in this wicket. Wicket looks good, as earlier I mentioned. And 20 overs game, I think Bangladeshi batters, they will finally play 20 overs, full overs.
Yes, we take a look at the lineup. Nigar Sultana Jyoti, along with Dilara, Fahima, Marufa, Murshida, Nahida, Rabia, Mustari, Shorifa, Sharna, and Sultana. That is the 11 for Bangladesh. And the Australian lineup will come up in a bit as we see the scoreboard or the digital board that was there beside the manual scoreboard, which has completely been decimated by the storm in the morning. Elisa Healy, Annabelle Sutherland, Ash Gardner, Beth Mooney, Elise Perry, Georgia Wareham, Grace, Phoebe Litchfield, Sophie, Talia, and Tyla making her way into the squad, and her pace should be something to watch out for early on.
Exactly, no doubt about that. Tyla Bliming, finally he will play his first game in this tour, Australia Women's Tour of Bangladesh, first ever bilateral series between these two. Already 3 ODIs had been played and a clean sweep by Aussie women. And now all set. Elisa Hill is stationed her fielders. So here we go, the first ball. First ball off the back foot. Oh, straight to the hands, to the cover point region. And the first wicket done. First blood drawn. My goodness. What have you done, Dilara? Speechless.
Yeah, she saw the length. It was there to be cut. She just couldn't keep it down. And Dilara, she will be disappointed. Out for a golden duck. Australia, they get the early breakthrough. They get the early wicket, and it's definitely an issue that Bangladesh will have to be working harder on. As we see once again, it was there to be cut, but went straight to the fielder. And these batting woes have been plaguing the home team throughout this series. Good fielding there by Australia on that occasion. Another appeal, but this time it's probably going down the leg. So umpire Bindarati, she won't oblige.
Yeah, Dilara, she got the chance here in this T20i series. And she is playing instead of Farjana Hawk Pinky, but couldn't do for his country. First ball, he had to depart.
So Rosel, it's been an issue for Bangladesh throughout the series. They haven't been getting starts. They've been getting out early and putting themselves under pressure. How do you overcome that?
Yeah, that's a big question now. And there was almost a full length delivery, just defended nicely. But you're talking about that Bangladesh in every matches they lost early wickets, which give the pressure to the rest of the batters as well.
So it's a wicket maiden early on for Australia. Bangladesh, without scoring, have lost their first wicket in the first over. So successful over by Sophie Molyneux, getting the wicket of Dilara Akhtar. And we saw a very nice catch there by Annabelle Sutherland. So Australia, they're on the ascendancy once again in this first T20 international against Bangladesh. And we saw something very surprising happen in the last over. A spin started. We were perhaps expecting the seamers to be in operation, and that will be the case now.
Tyla blaming, and she has got the opportunity to bowl. Murshida Khatun, she will face first ball and well sliced. And the first run comes for Bangladesh as well. Off the mark, Murshida Khatun.
Yeah, finally some runs, or a run to be precise. Bangladesh will have to try and break free. They've been poor with the bat, to say the very least. And they've performed way below par. Even the captain Nigar Sultana Jyoti, after the third one-day international, she spoke about it very candidly at the press conference that Bangladesh couldn't even display 10% of what they're capable of. Beauty, absolute beauty, but a no ball from the umpire. So Tyla will have to bowl that once again. We saw some early movement in the second ODI, and look at that, in the first T20 international on the same pitch. We're seeing some away movement. Marufa Akhtar for Bangladesh, she got the ball to move in both ways, move into the right-hander and move into the left-hander. And Tyla looking like she can do something similar.
Oh, once again, this time bit wider, and she has got the swing as well. Extra bit of movement, Shanur bhai.
Well, it was a free hit, so it was there to be hit. But unfortunately for Subhana Mustari, she couldn't get bat on ball. She's been there for 7 deliveries now. Again, beaten for pace. And wow, it's hit the stumps. The Australians are celebrating. Bangladesh losing their second wicket. And it's Subhana Mustari who's gone without scoring. She was there for a painstaking 8 deliveries. And Bangladesh's scorecard goes from bad to worse. 2 wickets down for just 2 runs in the second over.
Subhana Mustari went back to the pavilion for none. And one thing don't forget, previous 2 deliveries, there was outswinger, this time in-swinger, and also clipped just 1 bail. My goodness, excellent strategy and brilliance from Tyla.
Yeah, we were talking about her pace and movement. We saw a few deliveries that went away, and then this one, it came back in a bit, and Subhana Mustari beaten for pace. And initially it looked like it beat the top of middle and leg, but it actually clipped the bail on the right on its way. And the captain Nigar Sultana Jyoti, she's into the crease in the middle, perhaps earlier than expected. Has to try and do a job. Oh, now that's not really the way to go about things. Just moving her front leg away and trying to hit across the line. Given Taylor's pace and movement early on, that won't be a wise option, especially not from the captain of the home team.
Yeah, and also player to watch for this match, Nigar Sultana Jyoti. 57 runs she scored against this Australia women team in the World Cup previous year.
Well, at this moment, Jyoti's just got to concentrate and try and play the ball according to its merit. As we see a change in field, the square leg moving away, going to deep third, so they're expecting this to be short perhaps, and a gully also in place with the two slips. Oh, well, the batter was ready for the fuller length delivery as well, and a successful over done. Bangladesh after 2 for 2. Tyla with the double bluff on that occasion. Tyla Vliming, an express pace, fast bowler, exciting to watch even if you're not a fan of the Australian team. You always like watching express pace, fast bowling. And she's been fantastic in her first over. Apart from that one no ball, she's gotten the ball to talk. Murshida Khatun, she's faced just one delivery and she's there with Nigar Sultana Jyoti. Bangladesh need to try and come up with a response.
Right on cue. Ashley Gardner, and she will bowl the next over. Bangladesh women, the two batters, they need to make a good partnership. They need to think about partnership at this moment of the game, because already they lost early 2 wickets. Also, scoreboard is very low, 3 for 2 now. So they need to play their natural game and also respect the good deliveries and hit the looseners. So that's what they need to do right at the moment. Partnership is very important, whether you are batting or bowling.
Played with soft hands but straight to the fielder. Bangladesh, another issue they faced throughout this series, this white ball series with Australia touring, has been running between the wickets. Especially we saw Nigar Sultana Jyoti in the first ODI having a moment that she would like to forget. This time she comes down the track and goes over the bowler's head. She did get something on it, perhaps kept the momentum of the ball down just a bit, keeping it to 1. But a sign of aggression there from the Bangladesh captain Nigar Sultana Jyoti, and I was talking about her run out where she failed to actually place her bat and ground her bat.
Oh, this time swept it, and there is a fielder into the square leg region, picks up a single. But in the previous delivery, Nigar Sultana Jyoti, aggression from her, as you were talking about that. So the thing is that I think she thought in mind attack is the best defense.
And we see the reverse paddle also coming out. So more expressive against these spinners rather than the pacers for Bangladesh. So Australia's captain might want to bring another pacer back. Again, we're seeing some movement, trying to get to the pitch of the delivery. A dot ball ends the over, just 3 off it. Bangladesh after 3, 5 for 2. So a sorry looking scorecard. 3 runs for Murshida Khatun. She's not out. 2 ducks already. Annabelle and Tyla into the wickets. Dilara and Subhana Mustari, they've unfortunately not managed to score and gotten out. Oh, and this was so close to being wicket number 3. Some good work there at the deep. Against Vliming, You're living dangerously. If you can't deal with her pace, and if she's aiming at the stumps, you miss, I hit. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely. So much pace she is generated. The Bangladeshi batters, they need to defend. This time went to her leg, Jyoti, but finally she left it.
Yeah, I think more than leaving it, she averted danger because that was aimed towards her shoulders, perhaps, and she just wanted to get away from it. It was fast, it was furious, it was vicious. It had ill intent. Tyla, she's got her tail up. She's already taken a wicket. Looking good for more. The Bangladesh captain will have to face the music. 2 slips in place along with a gully. Again, very good delivery. Just aimed at that off stump. We see the batter getting squared up because of that late movement. It's difficult times for the home team.
Yeah, absolutely. In the third ODI, we've seen that Elise Perry's 2 outswinger deliveries, back of a length, Murshida Khatun left, and then finally just into the fuller length, outswinger, he just got trapped. This time again, just went to her left. Jyoti, I don't know why she's doing that.
Alright, so the reason for that is she's trying to access the offside field, and there are fielders 3 on the offside inside the circle. There's cover point, and there's point. So she's trying to play onto that side, which is her stronger option. She's not trying to play across the line on the leg side to the pacer. Perhaps might get beaten for pace, that's why. Again, this time it's played nicely, beautifully driven, and she gets the first boundary of this innings. Nigar Sultana Jyoti does exactly what I was talking about. She had the width to play it, and through the covers, she's caressed it along nicely. The ball had plenty of pace to just race towards the boundary. So Bangladesh finally having a moment to themselves that they can smile a bit about. Nigar Sultana Jyoti, she'll have to do a lot more of this. Be watchful and play according to the field as well.
This time again left it, and dot ball to finish off the over. 4 gone. Bangladesh women 10 for 2.
So interestingly, there wasn't much bounce. Nigar Sultana Jyoti, she was on her haunches, and really talking about the lack of bounce there. 3 bowlers used by the Australian team. Tyla Vlaming with the 2, 7 runs conceded. She's taken a wicket. She's bowled beautifully, to be honest. Sophie Molyneux, a wicket maiden in the opening over, and Ash Gardner coming in and just conceding the 3 in her first over. So Bangladesh, after losing 2 wickets early on, they were 2 for 2. They're currently 10 for 2. Still lots of rebuilding left to do. They've got 16 overs left, and given the early storm that we had in the morning, Bangladesh batters also having to weather the storm. Ash Gardner coming on, and this is beautifully placed. Won't go all the way. The outfield looks very fast despite the rain. Another couple. This time Murshida. She finds the gap. And those are the sort of shots you want to see more of. Using the pace, using the width of the delivery, and manipulating the field.
Ooh, this time that's a arm delivery from Ashley Gardner. Just somehow managed to save her stumps and also the pads.
And it turned in sharply. Much better on this occasion by Murshida. And And the sweep, not necessarily always a successful option for Bangladesh in this series. We've seen plenty of opportunities being given by the batters when they've swept, not gone to the pitch of the ball, sometimes giving away easy catches. Much better use of the feet there by the captain, Nigar Sultana Jyoti. And there is a fielder exactly for that. She's not going over the top because of that fielder. Over there, a cover. Played along nicely with soft hands. Will be another single.
Bangladesh has got the confidence as well right at the moment after hitting the boundary previously by Nigar Sultana Jyoti. That's why they are trying to capitalize their strikes. And now cheeky single to finish off the over. So it's 5 gone, 15 for 2, and change in voice. Annesha Apu will join with me in replace of Shanur Bhai.
Thank you very much, Roselle. It's a bright and resplendent afternoon in Dhaka. And things have been bright and resplendent for Tyla Vlaeminck as well. Also a good opportunity to wish all who celebrate a happy Easter and also greetings on the holy Islamic month of Ramadan. Vlaeminck, to continue from the media box end, will deliver her third straight over. Went for the kitchen sink there, but gets an inside edge which runs towards short fine leg.
Yeah, and this is the second time Murshida got inside edge, and both the occasions she just got herself safe.
Dances down the track, decides to go for a shot but bails out of it. It's been adjudged a wide. It's an interesting study, is Tyla Vlaeminck. She's already shown her range, be it in terms of her pace and the kind of lengths she can bother the batter with, is making her return to international cricket after over 2 years.
Oh, this time down the leg side, and too fine. Elisa Hilly couldn't stop the ball as well. 5 extra runs for Bangladesh. Bangladesh wouldn't mind this kind of extra runs.
For certain, they didn't mind them in the ODI leg of the tour as well. Came in abundance, thanks largely to Elise Perry, but she'll have company this time around from Tyla Vlaeminck. A little wavered there. Too quick for even Healy, the keeper. And you can see that Tyla Vlaeminck is starting pretty much from the edge of the inner circle. One of the longer run-ups that I've seen any bowler deliver across the tour series so far.
This time again, that's a wide, and also single taken. What you were talking about, Annesha Apu, she has got the pace, got the movement from early of the innings, as well as 2 slip in position and a gully for Tyla Vlaeminck. But this time, just a 1 slip in place.
A little bit of a chat with vice captain Talia McGrath there after a couple of wayward deliveries. And as you rightly said, Roselle, aside from those ingredients. She's got the reputation for all of that,
Right.
which, like it or not, constantly plays on the back of the mind of batters. Because when she first burst onto the international scene back in 2018, two things bothered a lot of people, including batters and commentators. One, the correct pronunciation of her surname, which we will try our best to get right, and of course her pace.
Right. And constantly she is just experimenting her length as well. Back of a length, good length, and also fuller length previous one. This time once again, that's a fuller length and outside of the stump as well.
Keeps it within the tram lines. Murshida Khatun exchanges a bit of a look with on-field umpire Ali Arman. And the fact that Tyla Vlaming is making her return after a prolonged phase of layoff has to be attributed to Cricket Australia and how they've managed her in this torrid period, ensured that she held her national contract all through. Remember, Vlaming was grounded by a slew of injuries which largely were on the side of stress factors in her right foot. Hails from Bendigo, Victoria, has played for the state in the under 14s, under 18s, went on to play for the Renegades in WBBL Season 2, and finally made her debut in late 2018 for Australia.
Vlaming this time, full toss and driven nicely into the onside and picks up second boundary.
A nice, juicy full toss on the leg stump. Deservedly got the treatment. Good on Murshida Khatun to make pretty much the most of that loose delivery. A gift on Easter from Vlaming to Murshida Khatun, the left-hander.
Not a good delivery previous one. Let's see. Can she come back? This time just into the off-stump channel. Defended nicely, and there's the end of the over. 6 gone. Bangladesh women 28 for 2. Scorecard, not a handsome looking scorecard for Bangladesh women. Dilar Akhtar got the opportunity and golden duck. Murshida Khatun still in the crease alongside Nigar Sultana. Suvana Mustari as well, duck for her. But these two, they are just building up a partnership which is much needed for Bangladesh women to post a competitive total.
Certainly, the momentum has been firmly on the side of the visitors in the power play. 28 for 2 to early dismissals, one coming off the first delivery of the match. Unsurprisingly, of the bowling of Sophie Molyneux, who was super effective on this very match, on this very pitch in the second ODI. Took a 3-4 upon her return. So the Victorians in the likes of Sophie Molyneux, Georgia Wareham, and now Tyla Vlaming have had this strand that joins them together of injuries and returns after prolonged layoffs. And look how they've put their hand up.
Exactly. That's quality matters. That's what showed by these cricketers. Still looking for a sweep as well, missed it. Sophie Molyneux, you were talking about that, and she had got big turns. We have witnessed in the 2 ODIs, second and third. This time comes down the wicket and very good drive, but chased the ball.
While it is Vlaming again who does the tidying up. Good enterprise on show from The left-hander, Murshida Khatun, will get a couple. And it's something that the Bangladesh women's cricket team are trying to incorporate into their batting. Rotation of strike more cautiously than they have historically. Because mind you, in about 5 months' time, they will be hosting the Women's T20 World Cup, the 9th edition of the tournament.
And also, it will be a very good preparation for Australia women team, considering the T20 World Cup.
They are the current holders.
Yeah.
They do not drop many, whether in the form of chances on the field or winning trophies and medals. It's a good opportunity for both teams to gauge the conditions, though a fair bit of cricket would be played in select as well during the World Tournament. A nice reverse attempted by the captain. Elise Perry cuts it up.
Yeah, more likely a pedal sweep. And 7 gone, 33 for 2 Bangladesh women.
A look at the bowling card so far. 4 bowlers deployed by Alisa Healy, starting off with Sophie Molyneux's left arm spin, who was right on the money first ball. Tyla Bliming followed suit. Ashley Gardner and Georgia Wareham rounding out the spin troika so far, also being as effective. The wicketless at the moment. Takes it on the full, driven through the covers, and it will go all the way for a much needed boundary. Nigar Sultana Jyoti keeps adding to her tally. The captain has to lead from the front as far as getting a formidable total on the board is concerned.
Oh, this time into the onside, very fine. The ball is racing towards the boundary line, but stopped by the fielder there. Couple of runs as well for Bangladesh women. As I mentioned earlier on Neshapu, that player to watch, Nigar Sultana Jyoti, he had the history of playing a very good knock against this Australia team in the T20 World Cup 2023. 57 runs she scored of 50 balls. This time bit ambitious appeal from Sophie Molyneux, but umpire denied.
One of the premier batters in this side is Nigar, and her body language exudes more often than not what you would expect of a leader. And there you have it again with the bat too. She is doing the talking, lofts it over Talia Magra at mid-off. Another boundary. Second 4 of the over. Bangladesh have already scored 10 of Sophie Molyneux's second over, who's been effective so far in the 3 matches, including today's, she's played on this tour.
Exactly. Might be she heard our voices. That's why she is playing really very good. And Bangladesh, that's a wide. One more extra run. As I'm talking about the Bangladesh women's previous 2 series against South Africa, that was 1-1 tied, and the previous one back in October against Pakistan, October 2023, that was won by 2-1.
And what Nigar's lofted cover drive has done is it's pushed back Talia Magra to long off. Goes for the sweep this time around. Will get a single to round out the 8th over. Bangladesh are 45 for 2.
Pretty expensive over. Previous one from Sophie Molyneux. And these two batters, Murshida Khatun and Nigar Sultana Jyoti, they are pretty well set in the crease. This time Wareham.
Was that a Yorker from Georgia Wareham? Missed everything, it appeared.
Right, and maybe there was a wrong one from Georgia Wareham. Yes, that was the wrong one.
A wrong one that almost yorked the batter.
Yep.
It's good to see that the two Bangladeshi batters in the middle, a left-hand, right-hand combination, are resorting a fair bit to all kinds of sweeps, which you would need in your arsenal to navigate the spin attack that Australia have. More enterprise again from the left-hander Murshida. Comes down and nudges it towards long on for a single.
Yeah, and they got their confidence as well. Look, in the previous couple of overs or 3 or 4 overs, there was no outside edge or inside edge. Oh, this time, reverse sweep. And there was no fielder into the deep, running towards the boundary line. Another boundary from Nigar Sultana Jyoti. Absolutely beautiful.
Sophie Molyneux and Grace Harris give up in their chase. Save the legs for the ball. Does win the race this time around. Excellent deployment of the reverse sweep from Nigar Sultana Jyoti.
Already 6 runs from 5 deliveries in this over. 1 ball left to finish off the over. But Bangladesh is looking very good. As I talked previously with Shanur, that they need a good partnership, and which is right. We are watching a very good partnership already between these two. That means 49 runs partnership. That was a 2 for 2. Dot ball to finish off the over. 9 gone. Bangladesh 51 for 2.
After 2 next to negligible partnerships up top, Nigar Sultana Jyoti and Murshida Khatun have managed to stringing a near 50 stand for the third wicket. The partnership stands at 49 runs. They have certainly upped the scoring rate following the power play, during which they managed just under 30 odd runs for the loss of 2 wickets. And now the acceleration has prompted a bowling change. Annabel Sutherland comes in to the attack. Will start off the proceedings for herself from the media box end.
Yeah, a pegged field setup into the offside. Oh, this time back of full length delivery, just pushes the ball. Looking for a single, but denied by Nigar Sultana Jyoti.
This 3-match T20i series also gains topicality against the backdrop of the forthcoming India tour of Bangladesh. They will be here in the latter half of April, are likely to play 5 T20Is in what will be a preparatory exercise and a much needed one for the Indians ahead of the T20 World Cup. Subsequently, there would be the Asia Cup as well, where you will have both the Bangladeshis and the Indians taking part.
Yeah, pretty sure this time off the back foot and making some room, played a lofted shot.
Threw her hands at it did Khatun, but it was clearly out of the reach of the fielder. 51 runs, that's what the current partnership is worth. Of just 48 balls, they're scoring at above a runner ball, which is a really heartening sign from a batting lineup, from a batting perspective, especially when you contextualize that against how the hosts performed in the ODI leg of this tour. A bouncer down the leg side from Annabel Sutherland will be cut off by the fielder at fine leg. The extras keep coming from the pacers. The spinners too have been somewhat complicit in adding to the tally today.
Yeah, Murshida Khatun scored 62 runs against South Africa women December 2023 in the first T20i, and she is just trying to repeat that kind of score here in this game against Australia, and also pretty well set in the crease. I think she is eyeing on to that score.
She's been due a big-ish kind of a knock. Bowled into the stumps, driven firmly, but will get only a single as Tyla Vlaming tidies things up. Murshida Khatun, of course, is one of the players in the current squad who has the experience of playing high-profile major tournaments, was part of the squad that toured Australia for the 2020 T20 World Cup. Hails from Kushtia, Khulna. Swung into the leg side for a single. That's the end of the 10th over. Bangladesh are 58 for 2. And with that, as the two teams have a bit of a sip, we have a replacement in the commentary box. Shahanur joins me. Shahanur, what do you make of the acceleration that we are seeing from the Bangladeshi batters in the middle?
A pleasure to join you on Nisha, and a pleasure to be watching for the last 5 overs the way the captain and Murshida, they've gone about proceedings. Murshida currently on 20 from 25, Nigar Sultana Jyoti on 24 from 27, so they've faced a few deliveries and they're starting to get a move on. It's lovely to see for once the batting trying to be competitive, and that's something that Bangladesh have been looking to do. You look at the bowling figures here, Sophie Molyneux and Tyla Vlaming both among the wickets, but they've got economy of 6 and 6.67, so they have been expensive or slightly expensive in the last few overs. And the Annabel Sutherland, Ash Gardner, Georgia Wareham, they've used 5 options. The Australian captain, Alyssa Healy. They've got all sorts of variety. Yet to see Elise Perry.
Right, somebody who was sharing the new ball in the ODI leg, or so she did during the second and third ODIs. Bowled extensively during the Women's Premier League for her franchise, the Royal Challengers Bangalore, en route to their title-winning campaign under Captain Smriti Mandhana.
So Australia do have that option of bringing in someone with her class, caliber and quality. And it'll be interesting to see how Bangladesh go from here on in. Obviously, with the drinks break, it gives the bowlers a chance to take a breather, regain their composure, and it makes the batters wait a bit as well. The momentum that they had, they have to try and rebuild that after this slight break. So this could prove good for the bowling team. Let's see what happens.
I'm certain the Bangladeshi dugout would be somewhat relieved that they have their captain in the middle, because she has been the one setting the tone, and with that break in momentum and break in proceedings, you would have expected her to have had a chat with her younger colleague Murshida Khatun so that they do not lose focus.
Well, Wareham to continue, and she's bowled two lovely deliveries early on, not giving Nigar Sultana Jyoti any room to really drive or play any expansive shots. This time the full toss is played nicely, but just for a single. These are the areas where you want to take advantage as a batter, especially now that you're set. You want to try and dispatch them for boundaries, show a bit more power. We've seen Nigar, she's tried to take the aerial route. Murshida immediately uses her feet, but straight to the fielder. So it's been a very good over by Georgia Wareham so far.
A part of Murshida's batting, which both the Bangladeshi coaching side and Murshida herself have been trying to work on over the past 2-3 years, is her power game.
Big appeal, and the finger goes up. Vrindarati, she says Murshida, she has to go. And Bangladesh lose their third wicket. Commentators curse on Nisha. You were just talking about her power game. She tried to play a slog sweep perhaps, missing the ball entirely. And Georgia Wareham, in her fifth delivery, having gone for just one run in this over, she gets the breakthrough, she gets the wicket, and it's that drinks break that actually does just stymie the momentum of the hosts a bit.
Commentators curse, plus drinks break, plus every other random ingredient that you can add to the mix. Not to discount the skill of Georgia Wareham. Looked pretty plumb. Murshida Khatun, however, did have a bit of a long stare at Vrindarati on her way back to the dugout.
The ball, it went straight on with the angle instead of actually taking any turn. Now the question is whether there was any extra bounce that would have gone over the top, because she did come forward and it wasn't the fullest of deliveries. It did have a bit of bounce, but Vrindarati, she thinks it was hitting the stumps. And we have seen slightly low bounce in this pitch. We've seen Tyla, she's tried to give a few bouncers and it really hasn't risen. Wareham to finish off the over, but this time the final delivery goes for a boundary. Fahima Khatun opens up her account with a 4. After 11, Bangladesh are 63 for 3.
A decent over, sort of doesn't end up the way Wareham would have loved to. A little wavered down the leg side and off it went for a 4. 5 runs of it and a wicket. Fahima Khatun will take a lot of confidence from that boundary of hers, of her first delivery of the match.
Yeah, that's the delivery you play the sweep against. The previous ball was a delivery you don't play the sweep shot against, and we saw a perfect example of that in 2 back-to-back deliveries of what to do and what not to do. And Vliming, she's got the ball in hand, so she's gonna have a 3rd over, and in fact she's gonna bowl her 4th over, and that'll be the end of her spell. Having a word with Elise Perry, setting up her field. And for Nigar Sultana Jyoti, there will be 4 fielders on the offside inside the circle. There is a deep cover and a deep 3rd, along with a fielder, a deep fine leg and a deep square leg as well. Just the one fielder on the onside inside the circle, and immediately she gets the gap. Nigar Sultana Jyoti just slashed and threw her bat at it. It took the inside part and it went into the gap. It was a full toss, deserved to be hit, and she gets 4 runs. So back-to-back boundaries, 4 off the last ball of the last over and 4 to begin this new over with.
Tyla Blimink earned mixed dividends from her opening spell. Doesn't start off well in her second and last one.
Again coming down the wicket, straight down the ground. The ball is going towards the boundary, but it won't go all the way. Not timed to perfection, and you can see the intent is clear. She wants to target the gaps. There are gaps on the onside. The offside is very packed, as I said. It's a 7-3 field setup. Just the 3 fielders on the onside. So she wants to target the area straight down the ground and also at the square leg, backward square leg and deep mid-wicket region. So Tyla, she needs to bowl at the 5th and 4th stump and just to drag her length back a bit. Much better, a quick single taken and a direct hit. Now, do we go to the third umpire? Yes, we do. Rindarati, she says that we are going to take the help of the third umpire.
That was a superb pick up and throw in a follow through. She continued with that forward going motion, did Tyla Blimink. A shy at the stumps at one go, and it did hit the stumps. Could be close.
Murshid Ali Khan, the third umpire. Now, what do we see? So this could give us a better look. I think she's just made her ground. Yes. So that should be good. Ali Arman, the other on-field umpire with Brindarati. And Nisha, if we look at the way Bangladesh are batting, they're showing a lot more intent. They're making the Australian bowlers think, and they're trying to punish Australia for the bad deliveries. The full tosses are being dispatched.
Certainly their batting and their approach seems way more attuned to this format, the dynamism of it, which was kind of wanting in the ODI leg, where they seem to have gotten stuck in a bit of a rut, just couldn't manage to get themselves into 3 digits.
Something that's been bugging the Australian team throughout the series, the number of wides, and that's another one. You add that to the list and the massive catalogue of extras they've given throughout the white ball leg of this Bangladesh tour.
Well, that might soon reach into 3 digits, the number of extras they've conceded.
Takes the pace off the last delivery. Fahima Khatun just played it a bit early, and there is a fielder for exactly that. A short mid-wicket almost positioned, and now she's bowling according to the field. It's been a good over for Bangladesh. 8 runs off it in the first 5 deliveries. How does this over end? Comes down the wicket and the ball lands safely, just a single. So aggression there by the 2 batters, Nigar Sultana Jyoti and Fahima, who's new.
Went at a full tilt. A shorter delivery from Blimink, who would want to finish her spell on a high. Remember, she's easing back into the Australian side. There has been a tangible excitement in the Aussie camp with her return to the international mix after over 24 months. Bowls express pace. One of the most exciting bowlers going around in international cricket. Finishes her allocation of 4 overs for 30 runs. Took just the 1 wicket. Bangladesh are 73 for 3 after 12 overs.
Despite losing the wicket, after the drinks break. Bangladesh continuing to score runs freely, and that's what's required, in fact, in T20 cricket. Nigar Sultana Jyoti, the captain, leading from the front. 33 of 34 deliveries. She's gotten a star. She needs to make it count now. In Mirpur, we know you're never really in. Georgia Wareham continues. She had a successful over in the last over, and she's been very miserly, very economical. Just the 15 runs from her 3.1 overs, and she's maintaining a stump-to-stump channel.
Yeah, it's a decent ploy to adopt, knowing the Bangladeshis are employing the sweep in its various avatars. So a little bit of erroneous judgment on the part of the batter, and Wareham will be in the fray. The current partnership is 15 of 9 after that half-century stand between Murshida Khatun and Nigar Sultana Jyoti. A bit of a close shave there, wasn't it, Shahnur?
Premeditated, not really what the doctor ordered at this point in time. Again, but this time, Fahima Khatun, she plays it better. Plays it to the fielder, the deep, though, just a single. So you're taking such a high risk for just a single. I don't think it's the best ploy against Georgia Wareham.
It's a kind of you hit, I miss repartee that's going on between the bowler, Georgia Wareham, and the Bangladeshi batters in the middle.
Use of her feet. Now, again, another dot ball. Georgia Wareham, she's really tied up this one end. She'll finish her spell off. Bangladesh in this over just getting 2 runs. Let's see how Jyoti reacts. And it'll be a single to finish things off. Georgia Wareham just giving away 18 runs in her spell of 4. After 13, Bangladesh are 76 for 3. On Nisha, Bangladesh getting closer and closer towards the 3-figure mark. They've got 7 overs remaining after this. They've got 7 wickets in hand. What do you think is a good total from here?
I would think they wouldn't want to be over-ambitious. First get to that 3-digit score, and following that they would certainly eye the 135 region. So with this opposition batting order, which runs as deep as number 11, no target is a safe one. New bowler in the mix, Grace Harris, the off-spinner. Full and wide on the 6th stump line, driven along the floor, straight to the fielder at cover. Georgia Wareham keeps it to just a single run.
Grace Harris, and that's the 6th choice bowler, the 6th option. So no Ellis Perry yet, and spin to continue. I think they're doing that because Bangladesh not really playing the power shots at the moment. And as I say it, the sweep is once again employed, and just a single for it. Fahima looking to play that shot a lot. She moves on to 7 from 6. Jyoti back on strike. And Grace keeping things very simple, trying to go through the over very quickly. Juicy full toss. Now it's been played, but not to the gap. There was a fielder there, and just the one bounce before going to the fielder at deep square leg.
The kicks keep coming Bangladesh's way on Easter.
Really should have been dispatched for more, though. Not taken full tilt advantage of on that occasion. And like I said, they need to use their power. Another full toss straight to the fielder. That's back-to-back full tosses that have gone for just 1 run. Partnership of 20 of 17. You've got those options on the offside to go over the top.
Grace Harris, mind you, is one of those bowlers who has this propensity for giving breakthroughs with the most weirdest of deliveries, juicy full tosses, wayward deliveries down the leg side. So maybe, just maybe, this is a ploy on the part of Grace Harris. What do we know? Maybe those full tosses are very much on purpose, trying to elicit, draw the batter in to playing that lofted shot that ends up going straight down the throat of, say, a mid-off or the fielder at short third.
This time it's driven nicely and will be a single to finish things off. And the last delivery, the fifth ball, we saw how it kept low and it was a long hop. And the batter Fahima, she really just couldn't manage to get bat on ball, went for a leg bye. In any case, another good over for Australia, just conceding 5 runs from it. After 14, Bangladesh 81 for 3. This is the first of 3 T20 internationals between Bangladesh and Australia, and Australia's first full leg tour, white ball tour of Bangladesh. 3 ODIs have been played before this, where they won 3-0, and now in the first T20 international, Bangladesh finally putting up a fight with the bat. The batting has let the hosts down during the ODIs. This is an area where they will look to improve upon, and so far they're heading towards scoring their highest total in this series. Ash Gardner to continue, and she starts off with the dot ball. She's also been very miserly with the ball. You look at Ash Gardner's off spin. She's bowled 2.1 overs, just the 8 runs. Now, is that an opportunity? Just! Oh! Now that would have been one hell of a catch, but dropped there with the fielder running back, trying to catch it. She got both hands to it. Might have been an opportunity for Australia. Should have been taken in the end, you think?
Grace Harris shells a pretty much straightforward catch. As they say, fortune favors the brave. Nigar Sultana Jyoti has been enterprising, plucky in her choice of shots and stroke play, and she's been rewarded with that reprieve by Grace Harris.
Jyoti dropped on 38, and now use of the feet, beautifully played, but still it won't reach the boundary. 2 more runs added to the total.
That's towards the longer side, measures around 70 meters. But excellent footwork there from the Bangladeshi captain. Went inside out, was so easy on the eye, didn't have the power, so didn't get the distance.
Excellent captaincy from Elisa Healy, because she's protecting the shorter side, and that's where the bowlers are trying to bowl, not giving the batters much room. Just another single. 5 runs from the first 5 deliveries. No boundaries in the last 3 overs, so Bangladesh will look to get a few. Partnership moving along to 27. Again, the gap is targeted, but just a single. We're seeing some expansive shots on the leg side. So 6 runs from this over from Ash Gardner. Bangladesh on 87 for 3 after 15. The batting guard looks a bit better. Murshida getting out for 20 from 27. And Nigar Sultana Jyoti leading from the front, 42 from 45. And she said something very interesting in the post-match press conference after the 3rd ODI, where she said that this is not a team where players can take their spots for granted. If the batters aren't performing, they will face the drop. And with the World Cup coming up next year, with the T20 World Cup coming up this year, the batters need to perform. The selectors, they speak with her before every series, and then they decide who to pick. Fahima Khatun and Nigar Sultana Jyoti, they're trying to build a partnership here on Nisha, but this is a very pivotal moment in the game, I feel, because this could decide what's a good total and what's a great total, or what's a below par total.
And how Australia go about with the ball at the death will also help them gauge the conditions better for the forthcoming 2 matches as well. So far they've sat a bit on the fence, I would think, not really getting a grasp of which type of bowlers would be more effective in terms of pace versus spin. And Alisa Healy at the toss said she wasn't sure as to what would be a good score to limit the home team to, because Nigar Sultana Jyoti, remember, won the toss and had no second thoughts about deciding to bat first.
Again, use of the feet coming down the ground. It goes straight and all the way for a maximum. The first 6 of the match from the bat of Fahima Khatun. Fantastic shot. Getting to the pitch of the delivery. Grace Harris being tonked over with disdain. Not much grace about that. That was all power.
Down the ground and over the rope. Did Fahima Khatun go? Brings out the sweep this time around. Can she get a subsequent boundary? Yes, she does. 6 followed by a 4. That's 10 runs of 2 deliveries of Grace Harris, who's coming off a dropped catch. Remember, in the previous over, she's been handed the responsibility to make some amends with the ball in hand. Been an expensive over, this one. 12 of the first 4 balls already.
This needed to happen because there were plenty of long hops and full tosses in her last over, and like you said, she got wickets, but so far that hasn't been the case. Again, it's a short delivery, not much bounce, will be a single. They're looking for the second one, but the fielder comes in, playing the gaps nicely here. Fahima Khatun, she's playing a gem of an innings, 21 from 14. In this over, she's played that 6 straight down the ground and then the sweep, showing her full array of shots. Again, very intelligent cricket there by Fahima. Taking the single of the last ball, keeping the strike, and the 100 comes up for Bangladesh. After 16, it's 101 for 3. So Annisha, as I was saying, the last few overs could be pivotal. For the first time, Bangladesh reaching that 3-figure mark in this series. They couldn't score more than 100 runs in the ODIs. They've done that in the first T20 International. This looks a very, very good pitch. As Jyoti said previously as well, in the second match, the pitch was very good to bat on. They're trying to take advantage of it. But now is the important point, how they finish off. If they can score around 130 to 140, that will put some pressure and seeds of doubt in the Australian batters' minds.
Yeah, the pitch is as good as you play in the given conditions. Unless there is enterprise on evidence, there's not much you can reap off the surface. And here, there's been an abundance of it on view today from the Bangladesh batters, led by none other than the captain herself, who is inching closer to a 6th half-century.
She's on 44 now. Oh, that's beautiful delivery. Sophie Molyneux not giving any room, bowling it at that block hole. Almost yorked herself, Nigar Sultana Jyoti. She's 6 runs away from that 50-run mark, but she knows she needs to score. This time a single taken. No, they opt against it. The field is set for exactly that. So 3 dot balls, pressure on the batters, pressure on the batting team all of a sudden. What do? How do they respond? It's a full toss this time. It's played on the offside. Just one. Just a single. So 4 deliveries bowled. 1 run so far. It's an excellent over by Sophie Molyneux, who came into the team in the second ODI, and she was the player of the match there.
Well, she has 2 player of the match awards from the past 2 Sundays. Can she make it a 3rd on Easter Sunday?
Again, just a single. For Sophie Molyneux, she'll have good memories of this exact same pitch because that's where she took the wickets and she did the job with the ball. in that second one-day international. Thanks mostly in part to the batting as well. They really didn't show much. They're showing a lot more today. Again, a single. So Sophie Molyneux's over ends with just 3 runs scored off it. After 17, Bangladesh 104 for 3. Still some batting left to come. Nahida Akhtar, Sharna Akhtar, Rabia Khan. We know Nahida, she can bat a bit. She has done the job with the bat in the past for Bangladesh, and also in this series when she's been called upon. She's tried to hold things together.
Annabel Sutherland will come back for her second over. Went for 7 runs of her first. Was a bit wavered. Bowled a bouncer down the leg side.
Pulled away. Just a single. And you look at how Bangladesh's innings so far has gone. They've had these overs where they've scored more than 1 boundary, but then the following over, Australia, they've bowled it well. The momentum is still, I would say, slightly towards Australia. Bangladesh need to try and change that.
The ebbs and flows of the innings have been really riveting. And the smattering of crowd we have had at the Sher-e Bangla National Stadium on this Sunday, I'm sure have been delighted with those boundaries that the home team have struck so far.
Yeah, some people at the grandstand, some people at the Shohid Jewel stand as well. More will come if the batting and the performance from the hosts are better. Again, that was some streaky running.
Phoebe Litchfield with that throw from short cover. Wasn't a clean collection from Alisa Healy. And we've seen her effect those superb run-outs in the past on the India tour as well.
Yeah, what I didn't understand is how she almost started slowing down. I'm talking about Fahima Khatun as she was getting closer towards the crease. The paddle sweep applied, or the periscope shot, however you call it. No bat on ball. So a dot ball. Annabel Sutherland bowling another very good over. No boundary in the last over as well. No boundary in this over. I think it's about taking the power option. The slower ball there, but just falls short of the cover fielder. She put the dive in. Will just be a single.
I love the innovation from Fahima Khatun in the previous delivery, though it didn't fetch her any runs. The power game is something that the Bangladesh team is still working on. It's a work in progress for them. So innovation is what they would want to resort to more of to the rest of the series as well with the bat.
Well, I think we have to wait just a bit. Nigar Sultana Jyoti on 49, I believe. And it's been a 50-run partnership here between Jyoti and Fahima. Ash Gardner to finish things off, to finish her spell off. And it begins with a long hop. It's pulled away towards the boundary. And that will bring about Nigar Sultana Jyoti's 50. That will be the first 50 of this tour or of this series for any Bangladesh batter.
Premature celebration from the Bangladesh captain in the previous delivery, but this time around she does reach the milestone. Her 6th T20i half century, has 100 in the format as well, and has got to the milestone at a good pace of just 56 deliveries. 4 sixes, I beg your pardon, 6 fours in that tally.
A good comeback there, Ash Gardner. Just pulling things back. Yes, it was a short delivery, but it rose up sharply. Use of the feet. Finds the gap. Will just be a single though.
Probably Nigar herself felt that she had gotten to her half century the previous delivery, which is why she did not celebrate when she, in actuality, brought up the 50, the following ball.
Again, it's over the top, but falls safely. There's 3 fielders there on the leg side. There's a square leg, a deep square leg, deep backward square leg. Again, very good bowling by Ash Gardner. She's targeting that leg stump channel because there are fielders over there at the boundary. 4 fielders at the boundary, in fact. Backward square leg, deep mid wicket as well. Again, it's a lofted shot. Will just be a single. So good finish to the over by Ash Gardner despite going for the boundary. 7 runs off it. Bangladesh after 19 overs, 116 for 3. So what happened here, why she did celebrate, is that the scorecard at the ground, the digital scoreboard, that showed that she scored her 50. So yeah, perhaps the confusion there. She's on 55 right now from 60. Nigar Sultana Jyoti we're talking about. Fahima Khatun on 25 from 19. Ash Gardner, she just finished her spell, and a very good spell by her. 4 overs for just 21 runs. Bangladesh, I was talking about 130, 140. That won't be the case. They're on 116. But still 120 plus runs might give them some hope.
Absolutely. The 130 region does look a little further away right now, unless they can score 14, which is perhaps a little too ambitious right now. Get to 125 odd. Finish off with a flurry if you may.
You were talking about Bangladesh still working on their power game, and that's very true. However, it's also about rotating the strike and finding the gaps.
How about in the V behind the wickets?
Yes, absolutely. Now, some power on that occasion. They're looking for the second. This could be tied. Very good running between the wickets by Fahima and Nigar Sultana Jyoti.
Put both the fielder in the deep as well as the keeper under pressure. Another non-clean connection from Alisa Healy. Was it Phoebe Litchfield with the throw? Hopes it on a thigh, does Alisa Healy.
Yeah, had she taken it, perhaps it would have been tight. Oh, beautifully bowled. Sophie Molyneux, she's got the wicket. Fahima Khatun has to depart. Trying to accelerate a bit more, going down the track, not getting to the pitch of the ball, and finds her stumps rattled. Slightly unfortunate because it hit her and then it went ricocheted off her body into the stumps. Fahima for a well-played 27 though, from 21 deliveries with 2 fours and a 6. She's upped the ante, played a quick innings, something Bangladesh have required a bit more from the top order batters. On Nisha, will that be the difference? Because Bangladesh's top order batters, when Jyoti won the toss and chose to bat first, the opening 5 overs was very crucial for Australia. They didn't let too many runs leak in those overs.
Yeah, there were 28 for 2 in the power play. Not a big tally of runs there. And it was Sophie Molyneux who set the tone with the ball, taking a wicket off the first ball of the innings. Topping and tailing the innings with the ball here for Australia is Sophie Molyneux. A fortnight ago, it was a Sunday, back at the Arun Jaitley Stadium. Won the player of the match in the WPL final last Sunday, playing her first ODI in over 18 months. Was the pick of the bowlers, taking a 3-4. Was the player of the match again. Can she make it 3 out of 3? As far as player of the match awards on back-to-back Sundays go, she is the pick of the bowlers today as well. Taken 2 wickets so far.
Again, use of the feet this time by Sharna Akhtar, the new batter in, and will take the single, giving her captain the strike. 2 balls to go. Bangladesh reach 120, so the run rate at exactly 6. How many more can they get in the last 2 balls? Sophie Molyneux, she has been the pick of the bowlers, as you said, on Nisha, and she's having quite the tour of Bangladesh. She's enjoying this Mirpur wicket. And no wonder a spinner bowling the final over. We generally see spinners getting tonked around, getting hit around, but not Sophie Molyneux, not so far. Coming down the wicket, straight down the ground. Nigar Sultana Jyoti can't bisect the fielders though. 2 fielders almost converging there for Australia, but 2 more runs added. And there we see, I think that's an example of how to play against Sophie Molyneux.
Her use of the feet today has been quite exemplary. She had rotated the strike, found the boundaries pretty much at will with that approach, and here again tries to bisect the cover fielder, and point will get a much needed boundary to finish off the Bangladeshi innings. They finish with 126 runs. Sophie Molyneux delivering the last over, bisected the cover fielder and point with ease. The momentum rests with Bangladesh at the close of their innings after Nigar Sultana Jyoti won the toss and opted to bat first in the series opening fixture of Australia's first ever bilateral tour of Bangladesh. Nigar Sultana Jyoti finishes as the top scorer for her side, an unbeaten 62 of 63 deliveries, with Fahima Khatun playing second fiddle, 27 runs. Some support also came in from left-hand opener Murshida Khatun, though she was a little slow to get off the blocks. Bangladesh will take a lot of heart from the performance they have put up with the bat, going by how they fared in the ODI leg. Weren't able to breach the 3-digit mark. 6 bowlers deployed by Alisa Healy. Grace Harris has been the most expensive. Remember, she's walking back to the dugout with a dropped catch as well to her name. The pick of the bowlers though is Sophie Molyneux. 2 wickets, very miserly, including 1 maiden. Australia having been set 127 to win here at the Sher-e Bangla National Cricket Stadium in Mirpur, Dhaka.
And you look at some of the partnerships there, 2 good ones. 57 between Jyoti and Murshida, and then a 60-run partnership between Fahima and Jyoti carried on till the end. She led from the front, the Bangladesh captain, 120 plus innings, 126, Jyoti scoring 62 of those, and it remains to be seen if these runs are enough and how much it challenges the Australian team. We'll be back shortly with the mid-innings show, after which the run chase for Australia will begin. So stay tuned.
From Nigar Sultana Jyoti that winning the toss and chose to bat first.
Brave, but as they say, fortune favors the brave. I would say they have put up a decent total going by how they had been faring in the ODI leg. 127 to get for Australia to win. It's not an intimidating total on paper, but Bangladesh, remember, have the spin attack to put the Australian top order under pressure as they have done in the ODI leg. So I'm expecting some fireworks from the bowlers as much as I will from Australia's top order.
Yeah, and absolutely, it is astonishing from Tyla Bliming that she came back after 24 months and bowled really very well, just picked up 1 wicket, so Savannah Mustari's wicket. How do you elaborate this?
It wasn't a blockbuster kind of a comeback as Australia would have expected from one of the fastest paces going around in women's cricket across the globe, but they would take a lot of heart from the fact that Tyla Bliming is back into the mix, especially considering that they are leading up to the T20 World Cup, which will be held at this very nation in September, October. 1 wicket she got off Shobhana Mostari, but it was Sophie Molyneux, remember, who struck with the ball again, the pick of the bowlers, taking 2 wickets, struck with the first ball, but did not quite end it the way she would have wanted to, was flayed for a boundary of 4 of the last ball.
Yeah, and Nigar Sultana Jyoti played a very good knock, and look at the partnership, crucial partnership between Nigar Sultana Jyoti and Murshida Khatun. How do you describe this?
A 60-odd knock from Nigar Sultana Jyoti, 250 stands. She has set the tone with the bat. Can her bowlers defend it? We will find out soon, but for now, we will head straight back to our colleague Zareen, who caught up with some of the fans in the stands here at the Sher-e Bangla National Cricket Stadium.
So that was Rosel and Onnesha with the mid-innings show. Not much time really to discuss too many things as the teams get back into the field for the second innings. The Australian run chase. Bangladesh will start off with the pace of Marufa. She's got the ball in hand, can make it talk early on. For Australia, it's the captain, Elisa Healy and Beth Mooney. They've made their way out, and Marufa, can she give the Tigresses the start that they need? We spoke about the early part of the Bangladesh innings where they were very slow to start. They lost 2 quick wickets. They were 2 for 2. Swing. Immediately we see some in swing. Marufa getting her lines and lengths right. That will make the batters think. Just 1 slip for her. A regulation field with a short third and a short fine leg as well. Again, a good channel for Marufa to constantly bowl at. She looks geared up. Wants to get some early breakthroughs with the new ball. For Bangladesh, that will be one of the key things. How they can actually start things with the new ball. This time it's pulled away, but straight to the fielder, Fahima. She did a job with the bat. And now with the ball, she will be required. In commentary, I'm Shahnur Rabbani. Good afternoon to everyone that's watching with us in Bangladesh Cricket YouTube channel, the official YouTube channel of Bangladesh Cricket. Again, this time she finds the gap, but just for a single. Was played along nicely, dealing with the in swing of Marufa. Elisa Healy gets off the mark. And I'm joined by Roselle, who was downstairs, ran up. Welcome back, Roselle.
Thank you very much, Shanur. Elisa Healy and Beth Mooney, two openers from Australia women. Elisa Healy had a very good T20 international career, 153 matches, 2,795 runs, and career best 148 unbeaten back in 2019 against Sri Lanka. Absolutely beautiful from Elisa Healy.
A legend of the game. No two thoughts about that. No two ways about it. And plenty of legends in this Australian team. Her father was a legend as well. Fantastic delivery by Marufa, giving no room to Beth Mooney. It's been a very good opening over. Bangladesh, at this stage, they had lost a wicket. Keep in mind, Sophie Molyneux, she started things off well with a wicket maiden. Bangladesh at a point were 2 for 2. So that start, that's something that if Bangladesh can replicate, they can put pressure on the Australian batters. They need 126 to be exact from 115 deliveries, 113 in fact now. Oh, lovely movement. Getting the ball to talk, Marufa. Fantastic over. Just a single in it. Australia 1 for none, no loss after 1 over. You were talking about the numbers of Elisa Healy. Beth Mooney, she's no slouch with the bat either. 100 in 96 matches. She's got 2,764 runs. An average of 41.25 in T20 international cricket and a high score of 117 not out.
Yeah, against England in 2017-18 Ashes series, Ashes T20 international. So absolutely beautiful from these two experienced campaigner of this format of the game, Elisa Healy and Beth Mooney. Beth Mooney had a showcasing performance against South Africa later part of January 2024. In the first match, scored 62 runs, and the third T20, 82 unbeaten.
Yeah, Australia had a very enterprising series against the Proteas women team because they lost their first ever T20 international and ODI against the Proteas. But then they came back very strongly. Nahida into the attack, and immediately we're seeing a mix of spin and seam early on. Marufa, she's been preferred early in the innings and not at the latter part. And I wonder what Nigar Sultana Jyoti, the captain, will do if the match does go into the 18th, 19th, and who knows, even the 20th over if Marufa has a bowl there. Will all depend on how the Australian batters deal with the spin. They have generally not done too well. Use of the feet. Well fielded by Nahida on this occasion.
Yeah, and Nahida Akhtar as well. 5 wickets for 14 runs against Pakistan women back in October 2023. Need to replicate this performance.
Good delivery, a quick single. And will just be a single. Hit the batter, in fact, on the way, I think. And you were talking about Nahida, her bowling and her performances against Pakistan.
Right.
Actually gave her the Player of the Month award from ICC for the month of November. And overall, Nahida, she's been excellent with the ball for Bangladesh.
And also, she has 2 fifers as well. This time, reverse sweep, no fielder into the deep. And the 2 fielders chasing that ball, but ball wins the race. Boundary for Australia, and the first boundary, in fact.
Yeah, coming off the bat of the captain, Elisa Healy. She didn't really try and hit it too hard. Just found the gap, and you look at the lovely outfield. The ball racing away. Shorter part of the ground as well. And the diving effort really going in vain. Nahida, we were singing her praises, and all of a sudden she concedes a boundary. You can say it's a commentator's curse. It really wasn't a poor delivery by her. No slip in place though. Coming down the wicket now. That's driven nicely. Will it be back-to-back boundaries? Yes, it will. Fantastic from Elisa Healy, getting to the pitch of the ball and getting her second boundary. Australia all of a sudden shifting momentum towards their way.
Yeah, and the previous one tried unconventional shot. This time got the confidence as well. Just coming down the wicket and perfectly executed because mid-on is up there.
And that's why she was looking for that slog sweep in the last over. No run, but still an expensive one from Nahida. 10 runs she's conceded after 2. Australia 11 for no loss. We were talking about Nahida, and you look at some of these names. For Bangladesh, she was the first ever female player to get Player of the Month from ICC. Most of these Australian women, they've got bigger honors, bigger awards. Elise Perry, Ash Gardner, Georgia Wareham, Sophie Molyneux, Talia McGrath, Phoebe Litchfield, Annabelle Sutherland, Grace Harris. The batting is power-packed. So many options for the visitors. So they can take their time as well. They're chasing only 127 for victory. And they've gotten off to a very good start. 11 for no loss. Bangladesh on a similar stage had lost 2 wickets, mind you, as Marufa continues. She's bowled well and continues to do so, maintaining that channel on the middle and off stump. What's been very impressive about Marufa over the last few months is her variation. Generally, she would get it to swing into the right-hander. Now she can get it to swing into the left-hander as well, as we saw in the last delivery. And her control has been exemplary so far.
Yeah, right on cue. Marufa Akhtar improving. This time just stepped out from the wicket and driven nicely behind square. Picks up a boundary. Easy pickings for Australia. This time came from Beth Mooney's bat.
Yeah, it was the first real loose delivery by Marufa. It was a full toss. Again, trying to get the ball to swing. And Beth Mooney, she's not going to miss out on that. Punishing the full toss. I think Bangladesh did that in their innings, but they took a bit more time. Perhaps batting confidence wasn't at the highest after the ODI series. Again, using her feet, but this time beaten. Marufa bringing her length back. Good bowling, good comeback by the young pacer. And you look at the field position, it's very, very, very simple. It's not fancy. Going with the regulation field here, Bangladesh captain Nigar Sultana Jyoti. Though I think a slip would be nice to have because the ball is beating the bat quite a bit. And again, the gap beautifully found by Beth Mooney, executing that paddle to perfection. Gets the second boundary in this over. Australia really showing their full array of shots. We've seen drives, we've seen shots down the ground. Now we're seeing the ramp. We also saw a reverse sweep.
Yeah, absolutely. We have seen much from Australia so far. Look at that packed field setup, front square of the wicket. That's why trying unconventional way behind square. Beth Mooney. Oh, this time driven nicely. Will he find the fielder? Yes, she does. Couple of runs though.
Yeah, as a batter, you're making the bowler think, because when Marufa bowled something full, she was driven for 4. When she bowled length, she was ramped behind the V. So as a bowler, you're wondering, what sort of length do I bowl? Do I bowl full? Do I bowl length? Do I try a bumper, for instance? More length, but down the wicket and down the leg side. It'll be a chase for the fielder. And eventually dealt with. Nahida doing the fielding. So 10 runs from this over as well. Australia now require 104. In fact, 12 runs from this over. And Australia require 104 from the last 17 overs. Australia 23 for no loss after 3, off to a great start. Beth, Mooney and Elisa Healy, they've gotten the Aussies off to a very good start here against Bangladesh in the first of 3 T20 internationals. Here at the home of cricket in Bangladesh in Mirpur's Sher-e Bangla National Cricket Stadium. Having won the toss, Nigar Sultana Jyoti, she decided to bat first. Posted Bangladesh's highest total in this series, 126. The first time they crossed the 3-figure mark, and they batted decently, but Australian reply are making the total look quite paltry. Sultana comes into the attack. Oh, pulled away, but straight to the fielder. That was there to be hit. Unlucky for the batter, lucky for the bowler. Elisa Healy couldn't get that past the fielder at backward square leg. And now we see a change in field immediately. A point comes up from the square leg region. Oh, pulled away, and this time she does find the gap. Not a great delivery, but an excellent shot by Elisa Healy to get 4 runs. Now the captain, Nigar Sultana Jyoti, she just brought a fielder from the leg side to the offside, probably expecting her bowler to bowl at the 5th, 6th stump channel. But what she did is bowl at the body of the Australian captain, and she wasn't going to miss out. So now Jyoti needs to think again what to do with her field. She's got only one fielder on the outside at deep mid-wicket. This time cut away, but straight to the fielder who was stationed 2 deliveries ago at point. So much better from the bowler. That's the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Previous one, there was a poor delivery. Just shortened the length, and Elisa Healy got the elevation of time and perfectly executed off the back foot. This time shuffled across the line, swept it, just targeting those area. Square leg and bit of squarish fine leg. So absolutely intelligent batting from Elisa Healy so far.
Yeah, but for Sultana, she's lucky just conceding 4 from her first 4 deliveries. Again, you can see the packed offside field making Elisa Healy shuffle and try and force a shot onto the leg side. She misses out on this occasion as well. The ball ends up being bottom edged onto her leg, inner thigh in fact, and another dot ball. The captain, Nigar Sultana Jyoti, appreciating what her bowler did in the last delivery. Australia, regardless of this over, going for 4 runs from first 5 deliveries. They're in control, they're in command of this match. Bangladesh need wickets. Coming down the wicket, taking the first one quickly, going for the second. Excellent running between the 2 openers of a champion team in Australia. They made it look so easy. 6 runs from the over eventually. Australia after 429 for no loss. It's quite sunny right now. No signs of any rain which happened in the morning. It's clear. There is a breeze along the ground from time to time, but it is getting quite hot. The sun is baking the pitch and making conditions easy to bat on, as the Australians are showing a partnership of 29 from 24 deliveries between the two openers, as Nahida gets ready to bowl her second over. So Marufa has been taken out of the attack after bowling just 2 overs. No slip yet. Good delivery, stump to stump almost. Nahida was exceptional against Pakistan. She was player of the series in the T20 internationals as well as the ODIs, and with the ball she was so good. We'll look to continue. Down the ground, we'll just get a single. Jyoti perhaps telling Marufa not to be so deep and telling her to come into the inner circle. Yes, exactly what's happening. Marufa, she's coming in, and now a fielder will go to the other side with the left-right combination here between Alyssa Healy and Beth Mooney. It'll make the fielders and the captain think constantly, which fielder do I have on the outfield, which are my best fielders, which positions are they in. Down the ground, use of the feet, finds the gap, and the ball eventually just thuds along the ground, gets stuck a bit, perhaps from overnight rain. Wasn't hit perfectly. 2 more runs added to the total nonetheless. The running between the wickets, Rosal, has been amazing from the two Aussie openers.
Yeah, absolutely. Clever batting, as I mentioned earlier, from these two. Just placing the gaps, playing those areas and taking runs. Oh, appeal there.
That looked close, to be very honest. On-field umpire Vrinda Rathi, and she's the leg umpire in this over. Morshed Ali Khan, the TV umpire, and Ali Arman right now. There, beautifully driven, finds the gap, bisects the field beautifully. The timing is there, and it goes all the way for a boundary. The effort might have hurt the fielder a bit. Put the dive. An excellent shot, making room and placing the ball to perfection. Australia, they're really showing their class here. An absolute class by their captain Alyssa Healy, who moves on to 22.
Yeah, nothing is working for Nigar Sultana Jyoti right at the moment. Pegged field setup into the offside, but finding the gaps. Alyssa Healy this time again coming down the wicket, watching the player up inside the circle. That's why just stepped out from the wickets and hits the 6. What a shot that is. Smacked over long on region for a maximum 6 runs to finish off the over. 5 gone. Australia women 42 for none.
So Australia requiring 85 runs, just 85 runs from 90 deliveries. They've gotten off to a rollicking start. 42 for no loss in the first 5 overs without losing a wicket. They've really put a dent in this total, making it look pretty small. And at the moment there will be a slight change in commentary. Rosal will be replaced by Onnesha. And I'm Shanur to guide you along for the next 5 overs. Marufa, she's coming back into the attack, it seems. No, in fact, it will be her 3rd over. She went for 11 runs for the first 2. On the show, welcome back.
Thank you, Shanur. Much like how Alyssa Healy went about with her bowlers, Nigar Sultana Jyoti has also opted for a mix of pace and spin. Driven over the covers. Will it run all the way to the boundary? It wouldn't. As you would expect from the Australian openers, Beth Mooney and Alyssa Healy, they have started in a quick fire fashion. Beth Mooney, remember, scored some 82 runs the last time this pair was out in the middle during the home T20i series against South Africa.
The last over was very interesting on Nisha because the captain, Alyssa Healy, she manufactured a 4. She gave herself room against a packed offside field, got that boundary, made the bowler bowl at the stumps. She earned the 6 that she scored. Oh, that was so close to the stumps, and it's gonna miss everything. The wicket keeper as well, who's up. Nigar Sultana Jyoti against the pace of Marufa. Perhaps not the best idea. Gives away 4 runs. It'll be byes, and very unfortunate for the bowler. She got the ball to jag back in sharply to the left-hander Beth Mooney, and it's a trick. It's a skill that she's been working on and developing. Marufa I'm talking about. Beautifully bowled. Very unfortunate to not get the wicket.
Exemplary shape imparted to that incoming delivery to the left-hander.
This time it's too short, pulled away, finds the gap. Will be a chase for the fielder. The ball will win the race though. So 4 byes and then a boundary from the bat of Beth Mooney, who's into 18 from 15. And what this is doing is, despite Bangladesh bowling well in parts, because the Australian batters have batted so well, used the crease so well, and they've manufactured some shots from deliveries you really don't expect runs to be scored off of, that they've managed to hit the loose balls that have followed as well and taken full advantage.
Staying true to brand Australia women. Alyssa Healy mentioned it in the pre-match press conference that despite the conditions being somewhat alien to them, remember it's their first ever bilateral assignment, and they're playing a T20i in Bangladesh for the first time in nearly 10 years. Last time that happened was during the 2014 T20 World Cup. Only 3 players in the current Australian squad have survived from that particular squad: Alyssa Healy, Beth Mooney and Elise Perry.
Beautifully played. A missed field. Bangladesh cannot afford those, especially in a field position like point. And 2 more runs added to the total. The 50 came up for Australia as well. 54 runs so far.
And Alyssa Healy mentioned during the press conference that despite the challenging conditions for them, they are going to stay true to their style of batting. And you would expect nothing but that from the reigning world champions in limited overs cricket.
Now the fielder from mid-on goes to deep mid-wicket. Perhaps something short might happen now. It was short, and it hit the batter's helmet. Beth Mooney, she wanted to premeditate and play that reverse. Good comeback by the bowler Marufa, bowling according to her field. Hit her shoulder, in fact, before hitting her helmet. So the power play is done. 54 runs for Australia in the power play without losing a wicket. Partnership 54. Beth Mooney scoring 20 from 18. Alyssa Healy 28 from 18. The captain for both teams leading from the front with the bat. First we saw that with Nigar Sultana Jyoti scoring her 50, and the first 50 for any Bangladesh batter in this series against Australia. And Alyssa Healy now replying in kind.
Both captains engaged in a beautiful interaction yesterday, which you can watch on the Bangladesh Cricket Board's YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter.
A fantastic job done by Onnesha as well, hosting it. Beautiful video, beautiful idea. As Rabia comes into the attack, and immediately we see more use of the feet from Alisa Healy, trying to rotate the strike, not giving any dot balls away. Even to deliveries you expect to be dot balls because it's a new bowler, you want to watch the first delivery, but nope, the Australian captain has other ideas.
And something interesting that transpired during the conversation was the revelation that of the two wicketkeeper batter captains, Nigar Sultana Jyoti and Alisa Healy, both admitted that it is Nigar who is the chirpier of the two.
Oh, now she had to wait, came down the wicket, Beth Mooney, then had to check her shot. Rabia well bowled, nonetheless going for another single. And yeah, absolutely, we've seen how commanding Nigar Sultana Jyoti is. There's a wonderful video of her from one of the World Cups where she starts off singing, and then she says she's a singer, she's a dancer, she can act, and she can also play cricket.
And staying with singing, music, dancing and videos from World Cups, probably an opportune time for me to plug an ICC video that you can find on YouTube from the 2014 edition of the Women's T20 World Cup, where a very young Elise Perry and the former Australia captain Meg Lanning can be seen jiving to the anthem of the tournament.
Multi-talented ladies here in both sides. We know about the Australians and their exploits in different sports, especially Elise Perry, and we spoke about Alana King, who's not playing today. Such is the strength of the Australian team. Rabia, though, continues a good over, maintaining a good channel, making the batters play, cramping them for room. 3 dot balls in a row.
Good comeback from the teen spinner. And speaking of multi-sports, dual athletes, Alisa Healy herself has played a bit of junior hockey, as has Phoebe Litchfield. So a lot of the sweeps that you see the likes of Phoebe Litchfield or say even a Jemima Rodrigues from India play is down to the efficacy they had, the exposures they had as a junior hockey player. Jemima Rodrigues has of course gone on to play at the national level as well.
Yeah, she had a good time against Bangladesh when India last toured. Rabia ending that over, conceding just a single. So 3 runs from that Rabia over. Maruf Akhtar, Nahid Akhtar, Sultana Khatun, the other 3 bowlers used. Nahida being very surprisingly the most expensive of all the bowlers. I'm sure she'll have a good comeback. You expect that given the high standards she sets for herself. Something about Nahida, and I interviewed her after she was the player of the series for Bangladesh against Pakistan in the T20is. She said she was a pacer before. Oh, that's a full toss. And 1 bounce to the fielder at the deep at mid-wicket. Now, as I was saying, Nahida, she started off as a pacer, but because her bowling action, she was caught for chucking, so she had to change, and she reinvented herself. She was mostly a batter earlier on in her career, but then now she's become the leader of the bowling attack.
And is the vice captain of the Bangladeshi side.
Beautifully played, reverse sweep, finds the gap. It's been a while since the last boundary was hit. Beth Mooney getting another one, moving Australia into the 60s. Beth Mooney gets to 25. You look at it, it wasn't a bad delivery. She had to manufacture that shot, and it's once again a case of Australian batting genius that does the trick and gets them 4 runs. And this is what makes the captain Nigar Sultana Jyoti think, because now she's thinking, do I put a fielder there at short third? And she does have a fielder there now. And now Mooney comes down the wicket, plays it very nicely on the leg side, gets herself a single. That's 6 runs in the over already. The bowler has to think, Sultana, she needs to decide what sort of length she wants to bowl. It's very difficult dealing with these sort of batters for the opposition captain, for the fielding captain, and for the bowlers.
Keeping all the fielders busy are Alyssa Healy and Beth Mooney. Beth Mooney, remember, had a great latter half of the Women's Premier League as a batter. Scored 85 not out, 66, 74 not out, and a duck to close out the league campaign of the Gujarat Giants. Had a mixed bag of an ODI series, 25 and 8 in her 2 innings with the bat.
Sultana's bowled pretty well. Still gone for 13 from her 11 deliveries and make that 14. The over ends 8 runs coming off it. Really can't fault the bowling of Bangladesh. It's been excellent batting by the Aussies. 8 overs done, 65 for no loss.
It's just how the Australians keep working the gaps, bring out those inventive strokes when they're not able to clear the rope. And of course the occasional boundary which have come off the bat of both Alyssa Healy and Beth Mooney. They've gotten off to quite the flyer, 65 for no loss after 8. And of course the left-hand right-hand combination is making it slightly tricky for the young Bangladeshi attack.
You talk about young, there's a massive gap in experience as well as Rabia continues using the feet and getting to the pitch of the ball, getting the ball to go all the way to the boundary. Beth Mooney and Alyssa Healy, they're putting on a batting masterclass here, showing how to do it against spin and also against pace. This wasn't such a poor delivery. She had to come down the wicket. And again, I talk about manufacturing shots. That's exactly what it was. And the gap in experience, Sultana Khatun in her 9th match, Rabia, who's bowling this over, in her 18th, compare it with Beth Mooney and Alyssa Healy, who have over 250 ODIs between them.
Rabia, all of 19, is sure getting carted at the moment by both Mooney and Healy. But she is the heartbeat of the team. I'm told she's the prankster. Comes from humble beginnings. Her father is a vegetable seller and also raises cattle, which is also kind of the story of the larger demographic of this Bangladeshi side. They have battled adversities of various kinds, financial, societal, religious, and here they are representing their nation. They should take a lot of pride, and it's great exposure, mind you, for this young side being led by a brave, able captain. They have pulled off upsets against higher ranked teams in the recent past. And when it comes to facing Australia in this format, it's just a sample size of 2 matches, and both of those matches have come in the 2020 and 2023 editions of the Women's T20 World Cup.
Beautifully played. The reverse sweep employed to perfection. Alyssa Healy gets 4 more. Wham bam, thank you ma'am, from the batter. And you can see how she's making the bowlers work. She's getting the bowlers to bowl at her zone. She wants some width. She wants it to be fuller. Earlier on in this over, she came down the wicket and we saw her using her feet getting to the pitch of the ball. This time a better comeback, but still a single. The running between the wickets has been crazy good, is how I define it.
Good anticipation there from Rabia though. Alyssa Healy was trying to shuffle across the crease, trying to mount further pressure on the youngster. But Rabia responded well. That gives you a sense of idea as to the kind of pluck this young Bangladeshi spin attack has.
Again, the sweep this time. Beth Mooney now We saw one from Elisa Healy. Now Beth Mooney says, I can play one too. The fuller ball carted away for 4. And Australia looking imperious here. The run rate is getting closer to 10. They want to finish things off quickly. They're 81 for no loss after 9 overs. Elisa Healy and Beth Mooney both in their 30s, 39 and 35 respectively. This is how they're making their starts count, and this seems to be a pitch which is getting better and better to bat on with time. Not really much to fault the Bangladesh bowlers with Marufa, Nahida, Sultan and Rabia. They've all bowled well. Some of them have been unfortunate to be going for runs. It's mostly been excellent batting from these two openers.
Australia are galloping towards the 127 run target. 170 is something they would look to chase probably in the second match, or put up if they bat first. 127 is all they need today. If the IWC series in the ODI leg was about getting those championship points, this series, the T20Is, mind you, is all about trying to make the most of the conditions and gauging what the potential best 11 or top 15 could be as far as their playing personnel is concerned for the forthcoming 9th edition of the Women's T20 World Cup.
And that was again an exhibition of how to convert a good delivery into a boundary. Again the reverse sweep. This will take some chasing by the fielder. Oh, she does a decent job, it seems. 2 more runs added to the total though. And you look at how Elisa Healy and Beth Mooney, they're manipulating the bowlers and the fielders. The first delivery, it was full, it was almost bowled at the block hole, but because there were wide open spaces on the onside, she was able to play it all the way. And in the second delivery, she knew that it wasn't going to be as fuller, it was a bit shorter. She got ready for the reverse sweep, Elisa Healy, and an excellent fielding effort there nonetheless. Keeps it down to 2. Fahima continues. Once again, use of the feet. Will be a single. Onnesha, these two Australian batters and the Australian batting in general, I think as the series has progressed, they've gone from strength to strength. They've realized what these so-called alien conditions, as Elisa Healy called it early on, are. So-called extreme conditions are.
It's quite taxing in the middle though. We've seen Elisa Healy slump to her haunches a couple of times between deliveries. It's hot and humid, a little muggy, as you would expect in Mirpur, I'm told, at this time of the year.
Absolutely. But they're putting an effort, they're putting a shift on with the running between the wickets. So they're giving it their all. And that's what you expect from a champion outfit like Australia. They're leaving nothing behind.
All those additional minutes and hours spent at the gym coming in handy. And that is what separates the Australian from the rest of the world, doesn't it? The fact that they can marry boundary hitting, prodigious power with their ability to rotate strike the way they have been today, for example. It's not just those big hits that they have relied on. They are using their feet. They are quick to steal whatever singles and twos are available. And it has reaped them good dividends so far, scoring at nearly 10 runs and over in a chase of 127.
Yeah, 91 run partnership from 59 deliveries. Again, use of the feet coming down the wicket. 1 more added to the total.
At the end of 10 overs, we will now have a quick look at what the spectators have to say about their presence here at the Sher-e Bangla National Cricket Stadium. Our colleague Zareen had a bit of a chat with them. দর্শক, এই মুহূর্তে আমরা আছি শের-ই-বাংলা ন্যাশনাল ক্রিকেট স্টেডিয়ামে, যেখানে মুখোমুখি হচ্ছে অস্ট্রেলিয়া এবং বাংলাদেশ, এবং টি-20 সিরিজের ফার্স্ট ম্যাচ কিন্তু অনুষ্ঠিত হচ্ছে এখানে, যেখানে টসে জিতে বাংলাদেশ কিন্তু প্রথমে ব্যাটিং করার সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছে। আমরা মাঠে খেলা দেখতে পাচ্ছি, এবং মজার ব্যাপার হচ্ছে এই যে মাঠের খেলা দেখার যে উন্মাদনা, সেটা আমরা গ্যালারিতেও দেখতে পাচ্ছি। এবং সবসময় আমরা গ্যালারিতে দেখে থাকি যে প্রচুর পরিমাণে ছেলে দর্শকদের, কিন্তু আজকে কিন্তু প্রেক্ষাপট বা চিত্র একটু ভিন্ন। প্রচুর পরিমাণে নারী দর্শক আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি, নারী টিমের খেলা দেখতে এসেছে। আমরা একটু দর্শকদের কাছ থেকে জেনে নেই তারা কি পরিমাণ বাংলাদেশের নারী টিমের খেলা সম্পর্কে জানে এবং কতটুকু তারা আসলে সাপোর্ট করছে। আমি শুরুতেই চলে যেতে চাই আপনার কাছে।
হ্যালো।
বাংলাদেশের টি-20 আজকে ফার্স্ট অস্ট্রেলিয়ার সঙ্গে টি-20 দেখে কেমন মনে হচ্ছে?
হ্যাঁ, সোফার বাংলাদেশ টিম অনেক ভালো করছে। বাংলাদেশ মেয়েরা লাস্ট টি20 ইন্ডিয়ার সাথে এবং পাকিস্তানের সাথে উইন করেছে। তো আমি আশা করি যে হোপফুলি যদি একটা ভালো টোটাল হয়, সোফার ব্যাটিং অনেক ভালো করছে, যদি একটা ভালো টোটাল হয় আই হোপ আমাদের জন্য একটা পসিবিলিটি থাকবে। আর এটা অফকোর্স অস্ট্রেলিয়ার উইমেন সাইড টপ অফ দ্য ওয়ার্ল্ড, সো এটা অনেক আমাদের জন্য প্লাস পয়েন্ট থাকবে আমরা যদি ওদেরকে বিট করতে পারি।
আমাদের অস্ট্রেলিয়ার সঙ্গে প্রথম যে ওডিআই সিরিজ গেল, 3 দিনের যে একটা ওডিআই সিরিজ ছিল, সেখানে কিন্তু বাংলাদেশের উইমেন 100-এর উপরে রান করতে পারেনি। সো কী মনে হচ্ছে আজকে তো টি-20, আজকে কেমন হতে পারে?
এখন পর্যন্ত তো মনে হচ্ছে খুব ভালো করছে, আমাদের বড় আপুরা ভালো ব্যাটিং করছে। তো আমি চিন্তা করছি যে ওরা ওই লাস্ট ম্যাচগুলো থেকে আসলে ট্রাই টু লার্ন ফ্রম দিস সাইড। আর আজকে যেভাবে ব্যাটিং করছে এভাবে যদি ব্যাটিং করতে থাকে আমরা আশা করতেই পারি একটা ভালো কিছু হবে।
আমরা আসলে সবসময় এমন আশা রাখতে চাই, এবং দেখতেই পাচ্ছেন গ্যালারির বর্তমান অবস্থা। আমি যদি আপনার কাছে লাস্ট একটা কোয়েশ্চেন করতে চাই, সেটা হচ্ছে বাংলাদেশের ক্রিকেট টিমের সবচেয়ে আপনার পছন্দের বা ফেভারিট প্লেয়ারকে?
ইটস এ গুড কোয়েশ্চেন। আমার পছন্দের সবাইকেই পছন্দ করা হয়, তারপরেও যদি বলা হয় তাহলে জ্যোতির খেলা ভালো লাগে, এটা বলবো।
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
দর্শক, আমরা শুনে নিলাম নিগার সুলতানা জ্যোতির এক ফ্যানকে পেলাম। এই মুহূর্তে চলে যায় অন্য দর্শকদের কাছে, তাদের একটা রিয়াকশন শুনে আসি। এবং আপনারা কিন্তু লাইভ দেখতে পাচ্ছেন দর্শকদের রিয়াকশন। সো হ্যালো, নিয়মিত খেলা দেখতে আসা হয়?
জি আপু।
বাংলাদেশের ফেভারিট প্লেয়ারকে?
নাহিদা আপু।
নাহিদা আপু। তার কোন জিনিসটা বেশি ভালো লাগে?
ব্যাটিং সাইড অ্যান্ড সব থেকে বেশি ভালো লাগে ফিল্ডিং সাইডটা।
ওকে, গুড লাক। চলে যেতে চাই একটু আপনার কাছে। একদমই ছোট্ট একজন দর্শককে আমরা পেলাম। নিয়মিত কি খেলা দেখা হয়?
জি।
আপনি খেলাধুলা করেন?
জি।
ব্যাটিং আর বোলিং?
ব্যাটিং।
ব্যাটিং। সর্বোচ্চ কত রান ছিল?
এই কল
না, আপনার লাস্ট ম্যাচে সর্বোচ্চ কত রান করেছিলেন?
36।
আচ্ছা, গুড। সো বাংলাদেশের আজকে যেহেতু খেলা দেখছেন, কি মনে হচ্ছে টি-20-র প্রথম ম্যাচ কে জিতবে?
বাংলাদেশ।
বাংলাদেশ?
জি।
কাকে বেশি পছন্দ?
Time for
Pinky
some
Appu?
on-field
Pinky Appu
action again.
আর বোলারদের মধ্যে?
A lovely conversation between some of the young spectators and Zareen. With that,
এবং খুব মজার ব্যাপার হচ্ছে একদমই তরুণ বা একদমই ইয়ং একটা জেনারেশন আমরা পাচ্ছি। ছোট্ট দেখা যাচ্ছে বিকেএসপিতে পড়া প্লেয়াররাও অনেকে খেলা দেখতে এসেছেন, এবং তারা খুবই এক্সাইটেড বাংলাদেশের ম্যাচ নিয়ে। এবং বাংলাদেশের বর্তমানে যারা আসলে টিমের ক্যাপ্টেন রয়েছেন, ফাস্ট বোলার রয়েছেন, তাদেরকে নিয়ে তারা খুবই আসলে গর্ববোধ করে, এবং এটা কিন্তু আমাদের জন্য খুব প্রশান্তির একটা জায়গা বা গর্ব করার মতোই একটা জায়গা।
Roselle joins me as Shahanur makes way.
Thank you very much, Anisha. Good afternoon to you. These two putting up a stellar performance so far, Healy and Mooney. Mooney, he is on strike, just stepping out of the wickets and pushes the ball into the offside, picks up a single. Back in January 2024 against India in India, 30-20i, Healy scored 55 and Mooney 52 unbeaten. In that game, Australia women won by 7 wickets. And today we are witnessing this kind of replication against Bangladesh women.
Alisa Healy brought up her 17th 50 in T20Is.
Yeah, and such an experienced campaigner, Nisha. Her career best score 148 runs unbeaten against Sri Lanka. This time use of the feet straight back to the bowler's hand.
Was that an opportunity for a caught and bowled?
Yeah, but maybe just came off the wicket after hitting the bat. Sharifa Khatun to Beth Mooney. Oh, beats the fielder into the straightish mid-on region. Picks up another boundary. Easy pickings for Beth Mooney and 100 up as well for Australia women. They're inching closer to the victory.
Nice work with the wrists from Beth Mooney. Came down the track, pierced the gap nicely for yet another boundary. Beth Mooney is inching closer to her half century after her opening partner and captain Alyssa Healy got to hers. 7 fours and an imperious 6 in that tally of 53 from 36. The ODI leg of this tour was completely one-sided, save for patches where Bangladesh's bowlers threatened Australia's top order. And from the looks of it, the opening match of the T20i series too could go down the same route. 127 is all Australia are chasing, and they're already 103 without losing any wickets in the 11th over.
Yeah, I was expecting a bit of fight from Bangladesh women, but totally one-sided game turning out to be. This time again, reverse sweep. Finds the fielder into the point region inside the 30th circle.
Interesting choice of shot from Alyssa Healy. She doesn't play that reverse often. Got that glorious inside-out lofted cover drive. An imperious pull as well. One of the best pullers in the game. And there she goes again. Inside out, but played it along the carpet this time around.
Yeah.
Didn't get any elevation whatsoever. Good to see one of the most destructive batters constantly evolving. There was a time around 2 or 3 years ago when she tried to break a bit of funk with a little bit of 360-degree play. Obviously played down all talk of it, as she usually does. Is a great ambassador of the sport, for women's game especially. Has been vocal about why it's important to give lower ranked sides, associate nations as well, more opportunities to play top nations. And it's great to see her doing the kind of hitting that she's today in the T20Is in the series opener. Another boundary inside out, characteristic of Alyssa Healy, and she motors on nicely in this paltry chase of 127.
Yeah, exactly. And look how experienced she is. Just targeting the gaps and executed in those areas. That's what needed to do for an ideal batter in terms of this shorter version of cricket. So that's what she is doing. Alyssa Healy, global ambassador of women cricket.
Global ambassador of some stylish stroke play as well.
Right, and look, once again up and over and beats the extra cover region. There is no protection into the deep extra cover, and easy pickings once again. Just went to his left, making some room, got a full length delivery into her arc and perfectly placed it.
Should have held that pose, Alyssa Healy. Went down on a leg and carted it nicely. Shuffles across the crease, picks it up. Will it go all the way? Doesn't. Plongs onto one of those darker sodden patches in the outfield. Remember, there has been a bit of rain. earlier in the day doesn't limp across to the rope, will get only a couple. And Australia, after 12, are a mammoth 115 for no loss. A look at the partnership here between the openers, the left-right combination, on song, as it is more often than not. A whopping 115 runs of 72 deliveries, rotated the strike with aplomb, found those gaps in the V's in front and behind. Both have frustrated the spinners and pacer Marufa Akhtar alike. No penetration whatsoever from Bangladesh's attack today. Dance down the track will be cut off by the fielder at long off. This kind of performance with the bat usually deflates the opposition, and that's what Australia are really good at, alongside the usual skills. Some of their margins of victory are so gargantuan that when you go back as an opposition to your hotel, you're left scratching your head as to how you can counter a threat of that proportion.
Exactly, and steals everything from Bangladesh women today. Oh, misfill there. Just through the hands. Couple of runs taken by these two. Very good running between the wickets from Healy and Mooney. So at this moment of the game, Bangladesh women, they have nothing to do, nothing to gain.
Lofted over the cover fielder, and it will race away to the boundary, save the legs. The youngster, for the ball had enough momentum of that inside out lofted drive from the left-hander to add another 4 to the tally of the Australian openers. Well, in terms of gains, I'm pretty certain any opportunities, sides like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Ireland, though all full members, get to play against top-ranked nations. England, Australia, South Africa, India, all of them have played in World Tournament knockouts in the recent past, across the past 7 years or so, is absolute gold. So despite a potential loss today, there is still a lot to be gained if you are part of this Bangladeshi squad. With that, Beth Mooney brings up her half century of a quick pace at that, of just 35 deliveries. Has played second fiddle to Alisa Healy. Gets a little bit of a handshake, very understated. More often than not, likes to do the talking with the bat, does Beth Mooney. 8 fours in that tally of hers. Is the serial rescuer of the Australian women's cricket team.
Yes, and that's the glory shot from Beth Mooney, and a victory for Australia women. What a victory. That's a comprehensive win from Australia women.
A thumping, resounding triumph to kick off the 3-match T20i series in Dhaka. A 10-wicket victory against the hosts, with 50s from both their openers, Alisa Healy and Beth Mooney. The Bangladesh attack has been left to absolute tatters. No breakthroughs whatsoever. And as has been the tone of the innings, the final runs come off a glorious stroke as well, a boundary. The shoulders will be a little down in the Bangladeshi camp, and there would be a certain spring in the step of the Australians, the reigning world champions in ODIs and T20Is. In about 5 months' time, they will be here in Bangladesh trying to defend their T20 world title.
Yeah, and don't forget, 6-time T20 World Cup champions, Australia women.
And with that batting performance of Alyssa Healy, remember she's taken over the full-time all formats captaincy of Australia only recently during Australia's tour of India in December after Meg Lanning, the former captain, a legend of the game, decided to call time at age 31. But in the Healy era, Australia have gotten off to an absolute flyer when it comes to making a statement with the bat and ball in conditions in Bangladesh on their first ever bilateral assignment in the country.
Yeah, right on cue. And they just want to remember themselves that they are the great team in the history of cricket, women cricket. That's what they showed here in Bangladesh. Batting card, it's a handsome looking batting card. Undoubtedly 65 of 42. Alyssa Healy, Beth Mooney 55 of 36 deliveries. Excellent, exceptional performance from these two.
The Bangladeshi bowlers, remember, are no pushovers, but that they have not been able to eke out a single wicket in this opening T20i tells you a story about how good, just how effective and domineering have Alyssa Healy and Beth Mooney been with the bat. 7 bowlers deployed by Nigar Sultana Jyoti, all on the expensive side. 65 for the captain, 55 for Beth Mooney, both unbeaten, as they let the world know that they are the world champions, and even in conditions as challenging as they seem to be here at the Sher-e Bangla National Cricket Stadium in Dhaka, they have chased down a below par total of 127 at an absolute canter.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great performance from Australia women. Just Bangladesh women putting them into bowling in the first innings. And Bangladesh managed to score 126 runs on the board after 20 overs, losing 4 wickets. Nigar with the highest score, unbeaten 62 of 63 deliveries. And 27 Fahima, 20 Murshida. Sophie Molyneux was the only 2 wicket getters from the side Australia women. Australia women in reply, just 13 overs. They batted 127 for none. Alyssa Healy unbeaten 65 and Beth Mooney unbeaten 55. And no bowlers couldn't get the breakthrough of Bangladesh women. Comprehensive victory for Australia women, and they just putting up a great show in the first T20 international.
Sure, Roselle, the loss notwithstanding, Bangladesh will elicit a lot of confidence from their performance with the bat. They were struggling to get to the 3-digit mark, couldn't get there in any of the 3 ODIs, which they lost comprehensively by huge margins to Australia. But this time around, after Nigar Sultana Jyoti opted to bat first on pitch number 9, she made good to a great extent.
Yeah, and that's what they carried from this game. Just triple figures, 126 runs. They overcome their batting collapse, top order and middle order collapse in the 3 ODIs. Couldn't reach 100 runs as well in the 3 ODIs. That's what they overcome today. But need to win matches, which will boost up their confidence, which is very important for Bangladesh, because after 5 or 6 months, T20 World Cup is on the head here in Bangladesh.
And before that, they do play India, most likely in Sylhet, in 5 T20Is, starting in the latter half of April. Will also feature in the Asia Cup, will Bangladesh and India. So they do have a lot of lessons to take from these defeats they are facing at home. It did prove to be one of those days when the Australia openers leave very little opportunities for a comeback on the part of the opposition, and they registered a mammoth 10-wicket victory to kick off the T20i leg of their first ever bilateral tour of Bangladesh. We will be back with the second T20i on Tuesday, but in a few minutes coming up will be the post-match presentation held by Shahanur.
Well, it's been a tale of Australian domination in the first T20 international of the three-match series against Bangladesh. They've won handsomely by 10 wickets. The two openers putting on a batting clinic. Time for the post-match presentation, and alongside me I've got Mr. Shahriar Nafis Ahmed, the former captain of the Bangladesh national team, and he will be handing out the Player of the Match award. But first, I'd like to have a word with the Bangladesh captain, Nigar Sultana Jyoti. Jyoti, it's been a tough match, but an improved batting display from Bangladesh, and especially you.
I think yes, losing 2 wickets early, and me and Mushida was trying to build up a partnership and trying to like settle there and play some shot. But it was a good experience for us because at least after a bad series, and we could do with the batting unit.
You said Bangladesh didn't perform to even their 10% of what they're capable of. Are you happy with the effort today?
Not really. Maybe we could have bowled really well till at least we could have played them 2-3 more overs. But how they batted, it was brilliant actually. Kind of pleasant of the eyes. I think there is a lot of learning side that we can learn from them.
Lots to learn how they converted the good balls into boundaries and then made use of the looser deliveries. Now, in terms of bowling, which are the areas you'd look to improve on?
See the mentality, because sometimes they play the good balls also. So our bowlers are very young and they are not very experienced against bowling them. But I think still we have 1 day to go. We'll come with a good plan.
2 more matches to go. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Right, it's time to announce the player of the match. And she led from the front. She top scored with 65, not out from 42 deliveries. The Australian captain, Alyssa Healy. Shahriar Nafis to present an award of $500 to Alyssa Healy. Alyssa, what a batting clinic, what a batting masterclass. How do you feel after that?
Yeah, obviously pretty happy with that. We gave ourselves a target of getting it as clinically as what we could, and I thought Moons and I have sort of went the right way about it, nice and positive. So yeah, pretty happy.
When you were bowling first, at the toss you said it really doesn't matter, it's about playing 40 good overs of cricket. What did you feel at the halfway mark? Do you think Bangladesh had a few too many?
No, I think, we gave them 15 extras as well, so we could have kept them under 110, but look, I thought our bowlers did a terrific job. Obviously, Jyoti played really well with a runnable 50, so look, it was a decent enough total, but we've got a really deep batting lineup, so we're going to challenge ourselves to put big totals out there or chase it down.
Yeah, the batting lineup is as deep as the River Nile. It just doesn't end. Your winning streak doesn't end either against Bangladesh. 4 wins on the trot. Are you getting more used to the conditions? You called them extreme at first.
Yeah, I think today's wicket was a really great T20 wicket. It offered a little bit for the bowlers, but at the end of the day, I thought it was a really great batting wicket. So, if all the World Cup wickets are going to be similar to that, I think we're going to have some pretty good scores. So, yeah, I think the girls are enjoying the conditions, enjoying the opportunity to train out the back, and the extreme conditions, I think, are really good for us.
Alana King missed out today. Who makes way for her in the upcoming matches? Does she get an opportunity?
We'll have to wait and see. We've got 14 excellent players here that can do a job for our side, so we'll wait and see what the makeup's going to look like next year.
Tyla was fantastic with the new ball today. Best of luck for the series moving ahead. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So that's it from the presentation. A fantastic win by Australia. We'll see you again on Tuesday. Till then, take care. Goodbye.
give the coin a nice little flick. Nigar Sultana Jyoti, the Bangladesh captain, has won the toss and she has decided to bat first.
Here we go, the first ball. First ball off the back foot. Oh, straight to the hands.
As we see once again, it was there to be cut, and these batting woes have been plaguing the home team.
Oh.
Again, beaten for pace. We saw a few deliveries that went away, and then this one, it came back in a bit that she would like to forget. This time she comes down the track and goes over the bowler's head. Beaten for pace, that's why. Again, this time it's played nicely, beautifully driven, and she gets the first boundary of this innings.
Oh, this time down the leg side, and too fine. Elisa Healy bliming this time, full toss and driven nicely.
The wicketless at the moment. Takes it on the full, driven through the covers, and it will go all the way for a much needed boundary. More often than not what you would expect of a leader. And there you have it again with the bat too. She is doing the talking.
No outside edge or inside edge. Oh, this time reverse sweep, and there was no fielder into the deep, running towards the boundary line.
Bowled into the stumps, driven firmly, but will get only a single.
And to finish off the over, but this time the final delivery goes for a boundary. Fahima Khatun, well, just the one fielder on the onside inside the circle, and immediately she gets the gap. Nigar Sultana Jyoti, big appeal, and the finger goes up. Vindalati, she says Murshida, she has to go. Again, coming down the wicket, straight down the ground. The ball is going towards the boundary, but it won't go all the way. And now use of the feet, beautifully played. Again, very intelligent cricket there by Fahima to finish things off, to finish her spell off. And it begins with a long hop. It's pulled away towards the boundary, and that will bring about Nigar Sultana Jyoti's 50.
And has got to the milestone at a good pace of just 56 deliveries, deciding to bat first.
Again, use of the feet, coming down the ground, it goes straight and all the way for a maximum. Not much grace about that. That was all power.
Down the ground and over the rope, far further away right now, unless they can score 14. The keeper under pressure. Another non-clean connection from Elisa Healy.
Oh, beautifully bowled. Coming down the wicket, straight down the ground. Nigar Sultana Jyoti can't bisect the fielders though.
With that approach, and here again, tries to bisect the cover fielder. And point will get a much needed boundary to finish off the Bangladeshi innings. After Nigar Sultana Jyoti won the toss and opted to bat first.
So that was Rosel and Onnesha with the mid-innings show. For the second innings, the Australian run chase. Bangladesh, they lost 2 quick wickets. They were 2 for 2. Swing. And again, the gap. Beautifully found. Right now. There. Beautifully driven. Finds the gap. Bisects the field beautifully. The timing is there. It's all the way for a boundary. The effort.
Finding the gaps, Elisa Healy this time again coming down the wicket, watching the player.
The 6 that she scored. Oh, that was so close to the stumps, and it's gonna miss everything. The wicket keeper as well, who's up. Oh, now she had to wait, came down the wicket, Beth Mooney, then had to check her shot. Rabia well bowled. Massive gap in experience as well as Rabia continues using the feet and getting to the pitch of the ball. Getting the ball to go all the way to the boundary.
So societal, religious, and here they are representing their nation. They should take a lot of pride, and it's great exposure, mind you. If the IWC series in the ODI leg was about getting those championship points, this series, the T20Is, mind you, is all about
Sharifa Khatun to Beth Mooney. Oh, beats the fielder into the straightish mid-on region. Picks up another boundary. Easy pickings for
yet another boundary. Beth Mooney is pull as well, one of the best pullers in the game. And there she goes again. Inside out, but played it along the carpet this time. Shuffles across the crease, picks it up. Will it go all the way? Doesn't. Plongs onto one of those darker sodden patches. Sides like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Ireland, they're all full members. Tuali Sahili gets a little bit of a cricket team.
yes, and there's the glory shot from Beth Mooney, and a victory for Australia women.
The shoulders will be a little down. In about 5 months' time, their formats captaincy Australia's Tour of India in December.
They just won.